First.
What you think about?
I was first.
Into a fire. Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the
I was first. First in, last out.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching
daddies.
Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Oh, welcome everybody. That was Linda Binda. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. What's happening? Welcome everybody. I saw somebody mention the UFO. The UFO stuff is weird. Like it's always a guy who has ties who you think would know this stuff, but he's also done like 14 podcast tours. He's trying to sell 2 books and a healing seminar, and they never have any evidence. It's always just word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. And they'll say, well, you can ask this person, you can look this up, and you can look that up, but no one ever does. Like, no one shows us any fucking documents. They show us a speck on an infrared screen that's supposedly a fighter pilot, which could clearly just be something much closer, because they say it's moving at such fast speed. If that's just something that's much closer than they think it is, then the speed would be easy to calculate. But it is what it is. I don't know. The whole thing's pretty weird. And it almost seems like it comes at a weird time that it's like a distraction. It's always a distraction. I don't know. Seems like it always comes at a weird time. The stock market's crashing, so it's likely the technology has glitches. Maybe. So the stock market's not doing great. Everybody was talking about, oh, Trump got it. So first of all, the Biden-Kamala Harris administration has been posting record highs for like months, right? Every day it's a new high for the stock market, new high for the stock market, because the economy's coming back, right? And the stock market's one of the first things. The stock market it presents futures, right? It's not a lot of times it's not what's going on right now. It's about how people feel about it and how people feel about the future. So when the economy starts coming back, the stock market comes first. So it's like record high, record high, record high. Trump gets elected. They have another like a week of highs. And then people realize that he's serious about his crazy fucking putting sex offenders as the attorney general and shit. So the stock market fucking crashes, and now MAGA won't talk about it at all. They're just like, whatever. Who cares about the stock market? Let's crash it. Elon Musk basically said that the economy would collapse. He's like, well, it's going to be some hardship. We got to go through some hardship, but it'll be all right on the other side. Like Elon Musk fucking cares. He's got enough money to burn to stay warm. But he basically admitted that the economy would basically collapse under Trump's policies, but that's just part of it. Who do you think will suffer in an economic collapse? You think it'd be Elon Musk and Donald Trump and all the people in his appointment and his cabinet, or you think it'd be every fucking body else? People are retarded, man. People are crazy. I don't understand where they get this shit from. We've been making some improvements at the campground. Let's see. Have you guys seen the campground since we started cleaning up? Let me see if I can find I think I did a video just looking around the campground. There you go. Step aside. So that's the building I'm working on back there. I don't know if you can see in the background. That's the building I'm working on back there. But basically everything I view. So like my camper is just off screen to the left. You can actually see the picnic table there. Oh, that's the back side of my camper. So this is where my camper starts. This is all sand that washed in from the river. That's the owner's house, the building I'm working on. Trying to save. Mini-X, everything we're burning. We got a bunch of leaves and brush and shit up. There's a cabin here we tore down that is burning. there's where the office used to be. And there, the last thing was the RV. They got fucking wrecked, dude. This thing was actually parked facing the other direction. Like it's facing this way now, but it was facing that way and turned around and setting over here. Pretty crazy. But, yeah, we're making some progress with the campground. That's where I've been the last couple of days. We got a Mini X, and had some volunteers come out. We've been breaking and blowing leaves, cleaning up debris, tearing shit down. Just a bunch of stuff. Where have you guys been? What have you been up to? Phil's probably done a live every day, hasn't he? You guys been watching? Surely he wouldn't cancel any of his lives, would he? That doesn't sound like the Phil that I know. I saw the first clip, the first little bit of this video. Check this out.
And everyone else for the benefit.
Oh, wait, what? This is one of the things I said a long time ago when I talked about how, like, Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson are probably the two biggest, like, cult daddies on the right, is because people on the left say, we don't talk to men, we don't talk to white people, we hate these people. So, I mean, like, naturally, people are going to gravitate more.
Oh, and I'm wearing a new jacket that the mods bought me for an early Christmas present. They said it's a heated jacket. It's got a battery pack in it, and it heats up.
Things, so now we're probably starting to see like the results of that. As much as they make fun of it, they've like created like a safe space to do gender studies for men. Like that's essentially what a lot of these spaces are, is that like you can come in here and you can have grievances about like women and how hard it is to be a boy, and we're going to just talk about things with like no judgment and make you feel like empowered and cool and all of that. On the left, when you go over there, it's like, well, you're a man, you've had all the power, you're white, you've enslaved people, yourself, you. Shapiro having Destiny's exact take on tariffs.
There is no correlation between trade deficit with a particular country and that country doing better than we are.
So even Ben Shapiro doesn't believe that Trump's tariffs will work. He thinks they're a retarded idea, but he just doesn't think that Trump will do it.
Oh, nice. 6 years ago. Oh, so this was when Trump was in office. I don't know why. Okay, let's see what he says.
That's just not the way any of this works.
True.
But the Trump administration is not doing this for economic reasons. They're doing it for cultural reasons. So here, let me explain why they're doing this for cultural reasons. Again, there's a picture. Okay, politics is about pictures. Politics is about...
Because the picture he wants to paint is, you're mad because your factory job left, so I'm going to bring them all back, and I'm going to punish the countries that these factory jobs went to. But in reality... yeah, people would like to, it's almost gone that you can just work at a factory for like 40 years, retire, get a gold watch, buy a house, raise 3 kids, send them all to college. But at some point, we've just got to say, hey, we're going to have to move up in job classifications, right? You shouldn't be the guy that trims the piece of plastic off the part when it falls out of the machine or whatever, right? We should be above that. Maybe you're the guy who programs the machine. Maybe you retrain to do something else. Maybe you work in a more technologically advanced factory or something.
About stories. Politics is about narratives. When I say trade deficit doesn't matter, it's true, but Trump is telling a different story. And the story that President Trump is...
Trade deficit is something stupid. So this was Ben Shapiro back in Trump's first term, by the way. Trade deficit doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that we're fucking negative on China because they trade with us more than we trade with them. As long as our shit's getting sold and we're getting the things we need and our GDP's good and our unemployment's low, a trade deficit doesn't matter. Who cares if China sells us more shit than we sell them?
Telling is a story that goes something like this. Once upon a time, there were booming industries in the United States, large-scale factories, these big buildings located in Detroit, where people worked on employment lines, where they worked on manufacturing lines, and they worked there for 50 years, and they got the gold watch, and then they went home. And they had money based on that one salary to support their families. Why can't we go back to something like that? And the answer...
This never happened. This was never the case. This was never true.
...is because America's economy is much more developed. You have better stuff now.
And that's true. We do last-stage manufacturing more. Like, we do more productive labor. We're not just making widgets. We're making cars built out of widgets.
Cheaper stuff now. The businesses that we work in are better to work in than those businesses. If you had a choice between working in a Pittsburgh smelter and working in the Pittsburgh healthcare industry, you would choose to work in the Pittsburgh healthcare industry.
Yes.
Pittsburgh, by the way, is doing quite well.
Yes.
Right? The Pittsburgh unemployment statistic right now, the Pittsburgh unemployment rate.
Pittsburgh went from steel mills and shit to being a center of healthcare technology and development, pharmaceutical firms, and the unemployment's great. The minimum wage is great. The average household income is great. Like the guy who went from like fucking putting something in a box at a factory, now maybe he works at the fucking warehouse at a pharmaceutical, whatever. But they're making more money. Their unemployment's super. There's more jobs. Like they just caught up. They, instead of sitting around and bitching about, like, we lost the steel mill industry. They found something else, filled it, a more technologically advanced job, and it's doing great for them.
Currently is 4.6% as of September 2017. Okay, that is lower than Pennsylvania as a whole. It's lower than Philadelphia at 6.0%. That's because Pittsburgh has totally shifted how it works. Pittsburgh has become one of the more beautiful cities in the union. Pittsburgh is clean now. It is a service industry. It is a healthcare industry driven city. But Trump doesn't like that. He wants to go back to the pictures from The Deer Hunter, where you've got Christopher Walken working in giant gloves. He wants to go back to the pictures from Breaking Away, where you've got the father working in.
I hate him even more. So he does know all this. He's not a moron. That Harvard education did actually pay. You'd learn something.
In a quarry. That's what Trump thinks industry looks like. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Iran, by the way, has a trade surplus.
It's a child's view of manufacturing. Like, manufacturing is when the guys come from the
Iran has a trade surplus, but you see how the majority of their people live.
coal mines with the dirty gloves, and they hit with the hammer things on an anvil, and they make swords for like war. Like, that's manufacturing.
Iran is number 15 in the world in trade surplus. Is their economy something that you like? Something that you think makes any sense? Here are the countries with the largest.
Oh, and he's pointing out, yeah, trade surpluses don't matter. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Iran, by the way, has a trade surplus. Iran is number 15 in the world in trade surplus. Is their economy something that you like? Is that something that you think makes any sense? Here are the countries with the largest trade deficits, by contrast. The three largest trade deficits in the world: United States, UK, Canada. Do those economies sound pretty good?
And we had those that have decent fucking economies with those trade deficits.
Because they are pretty good. India is a growing economy. They have a trade deficit. France has a pretty significant trade deficit. Australia has a significant trade deficit. Again, no correlation between having a trade deficit and having a poor economy. But again, it's not about that. It's about Trump thinking he's...
All it means is that we import more stuff than we export. But we don't need to be the world supplier of fucking whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as our unemployment's low, as long as our GDP and economy is doing well, people have jobs, they're making good wages here, right? Most of the time, compared to wages in other countries. Who cares? We buy more from them than they buy from us. Okay. Is everything getting settled? Has everybody got a job? Is everybody making money?
Politically, because he promised a bunch of people in manufacturing industries he's going to bring their jobs back. I said at the time that's a lie. Those jobs aren't coming back. Those jobs left because of technology that because of global competition. True. So they're not being protected by killing jobs in other industries. Because all a surplus is, all a tariff is a tax that is being placed on everyone else for the benefit.
Oh, wait!
A tax that's being placed on all a tariff is a tax that's being placed on everyone else, meaning me and you, for the benefit of the few or the wealthy, or I don't know how he's going to end this, but same thing.
Coming back, those jobs left because of technology that because of global competition. True. So they're not being protected by killing jobs in other industries. Because all a surplus is, all a tariff is a tax that is being placed on everyone else for the benefit.
So Trump likes to say this all the time, like, we got a really bad deal with China. We buy 10 times the things that they buy from us. And are we getting the things we need? Do people have jobs? Is the economy doing well? Then who gives a fuck? It would take an idiot. It takes an idiot to think that for every one item we get from China, we have to sell them one item. Why? We go sell it somewhere else. We can sell it to our own people. Who cares?
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. We need to look for what has he said recently about tariffs. Somebody find me a 2024, 2023 statement about Ben Shapiro on I'm so curious if he's changed his tune on this.
The word tax.
Oh my God.
At the time, that's a lie. Those jobs aren't coming back. Those jobs left because of technology. They did not leave because of global competition, and they certainly are not going to be protected by killing jobs in other industries.
I think the intellectual giants that come in here, they think they're doing something, I guess, by saying Trump 2024 or Trump won or Trump baby. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because all a surplus is, all a tariff is a tax that is being placed on everyone else for the benefit of some. So if
that's true.
Everybody else will be paying these tariffs. We'll be paying these tariffs.
It's like I ripped my talking points from him. When people are trying to protect certain jobs, people will say we need to protect jobs, and they'll help a few people whose jobs are being protected, but then everybody else in the economy suffers because we all have to pay more money for this.
That, for example, the ethanol industry needs to be subsidized by the federal government. I don't think so. I think that it's nasty to tax me to pay off a bunch of farmers in Iowa. I don't see why that's useful.
I wonder.
The anti-farmer arc from Ben Shapiro.
I'm so curious what he said recently about.
There are still like 15, 20, 30% tariffs on like European goods that were put in place in like the 50s and shit. Because another thing about tariffs is they're really hard to reverse. Like once the economies adjust and there's often like fucking retaliatory measures put in place and then they have to negotiate, they just stay for fucking ever. So
that's right.
Wow.
Okay, Shapiro was anti-tariff in July. He acknowledges his insane. Oh wait, this is a week ago.
He's going to say that he won't do all of them.
0% income tax has been thrown around recently. Do you think that's
All right, so this is recent, Ben Shapiro.
possible?
I think very, very implausible. I mean, dream of dreams, hope of hopes. You know,
Oh, I didn't mean to turn on MO only. Hold on.
Tariff plan. But then when he's like,
What did I click?
Like,
But why even throw some of these things out there? Because it seems like a lot of politicians are throwing out these wild pipe dreams. And they're just saying whatever.
Well,
How ridiculous.
Again, I think that's a great way to please everybody, right? You're saying, I'm going to throw out tariff plans, and that's going to bring manufacturing jobs back to the the rest Midwest, the Rust Belt. And then he's like,
I feel like I already know it. He's just going to say, he just says this, but he's not going to do any of it. That's my guess. But let's see.
I just said, but okay, go
okay,
on.
but that also is going to increase
Wait, for what?
I just said he was going to say that.
Oh, okay.
prices. What if I said instead of the income tax? And it's like, okay, well, then I can have all the things. Like, again, the truth is there's solid precedent for that in American history. Before the income tax, that is actually how the federal government generated its income. Was
Yeah, in the 1800s. That's not how it works anymore. He's not getting rid of your income tax.
tariffing imported goods, and then
So here is the logic, right? You pay income tax, which a lot of people don't pay income tax, especially a lot of poor people who voted for Trump, or Kamala, or either one. Just the poor, you get a refund. You don't. Most people don't pay a minuscule amount of income tax compared to like the wealthy. Imagine I told you that you can pay me $100 a year out of your paycheck, or you could pay me $100 a year, $1 at a time for 100 items that you buy. The first 100 items you buy, you're still paying it. You're still fucking paying it.
Okay, so now
The only people that this will benefit is the wealthy, right? Because they're just stacking fucking income and they're not spending the most for. If you live paycheck to paycheck, there's no fucking difference. Either you're paying your income tax on your paychecks, or you're paying the same, or maybe even potentially more every time you buy an item.
he said there's precedent for having tariffs funding everything and not having an income tax. So now he's not saying Trump won't do it. Now it sounds like he is kind of sort of supporting the.
What's the precedent that last happened?
Before, I don't know, in the 1800s.
Actually, how the federal government generated its income was tariffing imported goods, and then there was no income tax. And I'd venture to say that was probably a better system. Tariffs plus gigantic income tax is a pretty terrible economic system, actually. But yes, I mean, everyone throws out these plans. None of them will ever come to fruition. Similarly, Kamala Harris suggesting that she's going to tax unrealized capital gains is psychotic. Maybe it sounds good to her sort of Bernie Sanders, Thomas Piketty base.
I don't think it's good to a lot of people.
Well, anybody who has any basic knowledge of how businesses run,
Valuations.
understands like that's it's psychotic. I mean, it's not like when I say that, I mean full scale asylum level psychotic to suggest that as a serious.
So this is purely people throwing out random things just to appeal to people.
Gestation.
Right, but it means
So again, saying, oh, he's just saying it, he won't do it.
something to the American people. That's the problem that I have with it, is because we have a list right here of like the 0% income tax. We have the wall that was talked about forever, and obviously some of it was built, but now we obviously have the huge immigration problem. We have homelessness, which people are talking about, but nothing
the other
is
cable
ever
in
done.
there?
Actually,
Yeah,
today,
yeah,
Gavin
yeah.
Newsom did something. He put, what,
870
$870 million towards homelessness, so hopefully we'll have one shelter in 30 years.
Yeah, after spending $24 billion on homelessness and totally failing.
And the wealth tax was an interesting one, too. Student loan cancellation, which is always talked about, it's never passed. The federal minimum wage of $7.25.
Again, these are such that the prices in the United States to consumers rise. That is the natural effect of a tariff. There's no way around that. Whether that leads to the kind of inflation that Kamala Harris is talking about, that she's created with loose fiscal policy, blowing trillions of dollars into the economy. If the definition of inflation is too many dollars following too little product, tariffs create too little product by limiting competition. As a general rule, this is not totally anti-tariff. Some tariffs are necessary for security purposes, but what tariffs do is they limit the availability of product with the same number of dollars. That will
You're just punishing people who buy shit, and we all buy shit.
have some inflationary effect. Will it have a massive inflationary effect? Probably not.
That's why companies are kind of bracing for this and going ahead and buying stock. I mean, they still get their whatever from China or whatever, so they're trying to stock up, and then they can raise the price and blame it on the tariff.
It'll have some, but not massive. You know what has a massive inflationary effect? Spending trillions and trillions and
Okay. So now he's like way softer on it. Okay. Okay. What do we?
I would feel bad for him.
So now he's saying as they're still bad, but they're so much better than those Democrats. But then when he talked about it in 2016, he was all against it. He thought it was moronic. It was stupid.
If it wasn't just so shameless.
Yeah. Oh, here's.
I wonder if there was a really old video of Blair White doing a political compass test. But if you actually filled out the test the way she did it, she would have gone somewhere.
What else do we want to do? Is Scott Rogers back? We haven't been in those Scott Rogers lane in a while. I don't know. We need something good. the Mike Tyson fight happened. That was pretty amazing. Mike Tyson has no fucking... I'm almost certain he threw... Hold on. I'm almost certain he threw the foul. I think there was a couple times that he could have fucking... In the first round, there was times that he could have fucking knocked him the fuck out. But nope. In the first 8 seconds, there was one.
Jake Paul recently shared a video of himself dropping a heavyweight contender during a sparring
I want to see the Mike Tyson
posted a
sparring.
video of his own on TikTok and Instagram.
This is not the guy who fought. This is absolutely not the guy who fought Jake Paul.
Was good for today. Yeah. I truly believe.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yes. You sure?
Yes.
Yes. You sure?
Was good for today.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Was good for today. Yeah. I truly believe.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yes. You sure?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, they both made a turn of money. I swear I think Jake Paul just found an amount of money that it would take for him. And Jake Paul thinks it's like, oh, it's the passing of the torch. Like the old guy to the young guy. And now he calls himself the face of boxing now. Like it's some rigged.
It's all right?
Let's do this. You did great. We're done.
You sure?
Yes. Chris.
I got a lot in me. Let's get started.
People in the comments have been asking for recent sparring footage, so I'm glad we finally got it. Some argue that Mike Tyson has lost.
I swear I think he threw. Hold on.
Really? I heard you lost it in a fiddle competition. Who the fuck told you that? One of the demons in the band told me.
Damn, bro. Fucking ops, man. Why the fuck would they do that to me?
Well, they were talking about how you cheated by bringing them.
I think somebody points it out, man. He had a perfect opportunity. He had a perfect fucking opportunity for an uppercut within like the first 8 seconds. And that's like his signature go-to. When someone misses, he makes them fucking pay. But he doesn't here. He fucking holds. He doesn't even swing. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that open opportunity. Jake doesn't even have a guard up. He doesn't even throw a jab. He doesn't throw nothing. Watch. Jake misses. He's underneath him and wide open. So Jake Paul's arms are fucking spread. And he pops up underneath him with Jake Paul's arms out here and doesn't even throw a punch. So the reason Jake Paul doesn't take normal fights is because Jake Paul wants to be at the top immediately, right? And that's not the way it works. When you go into boxing, right, you start at the bottom. You have to earn fight. Like you'd have to fight another guy at the bottom, another guy that's new, and then another guy. It might take you years, depending on how good you are. It might take you years before you get a chance at like a title fight, right, to where you could be the champion of such and such. Because those people have put in the work. They fought all the way to the top. But what Jake Paul wants to do is go in and be like, okay, it's my first day here. I want to fight the heavyweight champion or whatever. It's not the way it works. So instead, he's booked all these weird exhibition matches. He makes these crazy stunts out of it. But anybody in any real boxing federation doesn't want to get injured because they know it's like a gimmick fight. They could be sanctioned by whatever group they're in for going outside and finding a fight. You know what I'm saying? So instead, he makes a ton of money. Gimmick fights is a spectacle. He tries to get big names. Or one time he fought an NBA player, an MMA fighter, a retired fight. It's just really weird stuff that he fights. And that's because he can't go the normal route or doesn't want to go the normal route. If Jake Paul would have went into boxing and joined a league and started at the bottom like everybody else, like real boxing people would have probably enjoyed that, right? Somebody you know, somebody you've seen, watched them go through, watched them struggle, watched them try to get a title fight. But the way that he just comes in and throws money at it until someone gives him some respect is just disappointing. And Mike Tyson's legs look like shit, right? but he was stiff on his legs. He'd move sometimes, and it would look like the old Mike Tyson. Then he wasn't the first couple rounds. He came out pretty strong, but you could tell like he wasn't even trying to fight. It's so weird that like why are you not throwing? Why do you not throw a punch right here? Why he's wide open? This is the first round. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but if he would have threw this punch right here and knocked him the fuck out right here, as soon as he pops up, right there. Look, Jake's wide open for an uppercut, for a jab, for anything, right? Just a punch. If he'd have knocked him out in the first round and it would have been over, he doesn't make as much money. Actually, the only way he got the full payment is if it went all 8 rounds. So the quicker it ended, the less money he was going to make, which seems like a really shitty way. There's a penalty for an actual knockout. Like that's crazy. Again, no punches, no punches, no punches. I don't know. The whole thing was pretty fucking wild, if you ask me. But then there was this weird bowing thing the last 10 seconds.
It's been as many expected. If it would go past the first round.
The very last, I know there's supposedly a script out there or some shit, right? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know why you'd have to script it, write scripts. But anyways, the last 10 seconds, Jake Paul bows his head. He could have knocked him the fuck out then. The clock's still going.
On to Jake Paul, and that has...
And he talks about how he's got all this anger. He can't stop it. He's a fucking killer. Once he turns it on, he can't turn it off. That's why he's fucking bit a man's goddamn ear off. That's why he has this biting fetish. He's an animal, blah, blah, blah. Though when Jake Paul dropped his head, 10 seconds down the clock, I'd have took that cheap shot in a heartbeat.
In the case, but what is left in Iron Mike Tyson?
It was sad at this point. I think Jake threw like 200 and some punches. Mike Tyson threw 97.
Does he have the one
I mean, he can and he will.
knockout left in his arsenal?
The way to handle this is not to fucking wait for the 10 seconds and bow right in front of your guy. That's a gimmick, right? If it's over, you could throw your hands up and go back to your corner, but I wouldn't stand there with my head down because that guy could have legally knocked him the fuck out. But it was a gimmick.
Paul's going to be able to live the rest of his days saying...
Surprisingly, I was actually able to watch it, and our internet's been kind of shitty. I tried to fix it yesterday, though, so it's a little bit better at the house. We're still on Starlink, but I've got a router ran. Like, I just took a Ethernet cable, which I've torn down like 4 times by accident. But I just took an Ethernet cable, ran it all the way to our house from the Starlink, and then put another router up so we have our own little Wi-Fi there. So it's a little better now.
I beat Mike Tyson.
You can't take my chance, I tell you that, because you're trying to knock Tyson out. When you get a chance, Tyson a chance, by trying to knock him out.
The announcers almost got in an argument because Mike Tyson for a long time has bit his glove. And I don't know if anybody's ever asked him why, but at the end of this one, he says he has a biting fetish. And I think I've heard that before. That's why he bit that guy's ear. That's why he bites his glove. The other announcer, who was a guy that had fought Mike Tyson before, was like, he never did that with me. No, there's something wrong with his mouthpiece. And this went on for like 3 rounds. And the announcer kept trying to tell him, like, no, I've watched all the footage. He does this every fight. He bites his glove every fight. Every fight. And the guy's like, I don't know. I don't think so. There's something wrong with his mouthpiece. And it went back and forth for like 3 rounds. They were arguing over it. Jake Paul does not have a good guard or defense. Mike Tyson kept his hands up all night. But I think that's Jake Paul saying, I know he's not going to fucking knock me out.
It's crazy, both of us go here against Iron Mike, because back in the day, this would have been a very dangerous move.
Final minute of...
That'd be a very dangerous move. This is the old Iron Mike. Getting in close with him and trying to grapple with him or get in on the inside is very dangerous because Mike Tyson's known for power punches, right? And all it takes is one in the right spot and you're knocked the fuck out. It's over.
Fight. I'm a 54-year-old man. Many of my 50-something friends blew up my phone wondering if the old guy could do it for the rest of us. Unfortunately, reality has
just trying to get to the last 10 seconds. All right, here we go. Last 10 seconds are right here. So he does this weird thing. Then he puts his hands behind his back and bows his head. When his head's down, you could have knocked right there. You can't strike to the top of the head. But talk about catching him right in the fucking chin or in the ear. Knock him the fuck out.
Tyson's final victory was against Clifford Etienne, the show of respect. That fight lasted 49 seconds. This one goes 16 minutes. And it'll stand up.
Hold on. Let's see if we can get the announcers. Argue. Mike Tyson. It was really weird they were arguing. I don't want to cover Phil tonight, Mariah. Stop texting me. There's people making fun of it.
We see now there, Tom. Tyson keeps messing with his mouthpiece. I think it's starting to bother him. Actually, no, Bill. Him messing with his mouthpiece is just a tick that Tyson picked up from earlier in his career. Yeah, and you can tell that Tyson's mouthpiece is bothering him because he keeps touching it. No, it is not. It's just a tick, and you would understand that if you fucking opened up your ears and listened to me for goddamn once. Yeah, well, you don't know shit about boxing, and your wife's a fat bitch, and as we can see, Tyson's mouthpiece is bothering him. Yeah, well, you're a stupid fucking pussy, and yeah, it's just a tick. That's why Mike Tyson's biting his.
So people are making skits about them arguing about it
right now. I guess I am a pussy because you are what you eat, huh? You stupid fucking bitch. Anyway, so Tyson's mouthpiece keeps bothering him. Yeah, you are what you eat, and your wife must wipe back to front because, my God, you're a piece of fucking shit. Do you want to hop in the ring, you bitch ass? Yeah, I do, actually. We see now there, Tom. Tyson keeps messing with...
I don't know if anybody has the actual footage or the actual audio from it.
Yeah, Tyson, showing his age out there. Yeah, I don't really like those legs.
It's round two of the Mike Tyson.
Dan, tell me, how'd you see this one going down?
Thanks, Kate. The time has come as it is to see Mike Tyson in a ring in 2024. It's even crazier to see.
So the betting odds are, so the money line, this is to win, right? The odds were plus 180 for Tyson to win. So that means if you bet 100, you win 180. And then on Jake Paul, they were negative 220, which means you have to bet 220 to win 100. That's how betting odds work, the plus or minus, if you don't understand them. So they were ended after this round, ended the first round, end after this round, go the full 8 rounds, whatever. Those were all the different bets you could make, and that's how the odds work.
See him as an underdog in a fight or 100. I think Jake by stoppage at plus. Jake, you say you want to be a serious.
Y'all, the commentary on this fight for
it was really bad. The fight commentators are really bad.
Tyson has been.
It was like they were bored or something.
We got a Evander Holy.
The best fight of all night was the two girls.
Am I the only one who thinks this show?
Do you let the words get to you? No, I don't really pay attention.
Up on I watched him on television, right? I mean, in the States, and he's a big.
This is where they asked about him. This is where they asked him about it. Rape.
The big hit.
Allegations.
Big hit. Now, some of your critics would say, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that? Hey, I don't know who said that. You don't even know who said that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that. Because it's negative, and you're being negative, and I met the mayor, right. And nothing they can do about it.
So he met the mayor, and someone says, "Well, you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt the campaign." Now he's getting pissed about it.
We had a really good time. We talked about George Chavallo, who's a legend in your city, great man with whom Mike spent quite a bit of time.
Look how mad he is.
Talking about his life, highs and lows.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit.
Hey,
with that comment. Come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit.
We're doing live TV.
I don't care. What are you gonna do about it?
All right, you got a show that you're doing tonight. We are. A lot of people. We are. Where it comes raw, and it's the real truth. Yeah, a lot of people. It's the truth.
Probably hurt that.
Just tell us a bit about it.
Campaign there a little bit.
It speaks for itself. Everyone saw the show.
Right. It's a Broadway production. It went to Vegas. It went to actually 28 cities in the United States. And we're really, really proud to bring it here. And we're actually going to Monaco on October 9th. We're going to be in Monte Carlo. Right. Is it nerve-wracking for you to do something like this, or is it more nervous for you to box? How does it compare?
I don't know. It's more nerve-wracking for me here talking to a rat piece of shit like you. Come on, like.
It's more nervous for me to be here talking to a rat piece of shit like you.
No, because you're a piece of shit. All right, we're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming in. Fuck you.
And then Jake Paul did something really weird after his fight. He's like, yeah, I won the fight, but I'd like to shout out to the truck drivers and the farmers. We're in the age of the awakening where the truth is being revealed. It's so weird, like a weird cryptic Trump support thing. Shit was weird.
Oh my God, Mike is so old. Jake Paul being young enough to be Mike's son. God, he's old. Father time always wins. Always win. Did I mention that Mike Tyson is old?
You know, there's a...
At his feet. At his feet and screaming, cheering fans.
Record of 34-0. And that doesn't count his recent bouts with his wife and his manager.
So interesting that some of your critics would say, you know, there's a...
I wish we had it. Hold on. I'm sure somebody has the audio of it, them going back and forth. It was just funny that they kept arguing, and the guy tried to tell him like 4 or 5 times. They finally asked him right here.
The broadcast team was debating what you were doing with your glove. Was it a mouthpiece issue, or were you just biting on your glove? What was that? Could you tell us?
Oh, I have a habit of biting my gloves when I fight, yes.
Why do you do that?
I have a biting fixation.
The broadcast team was debating.
There's a biting fixation. They argued about it and argued about it and argued about it. Oh, here it is. Here's just sparring versus the match. Look at the difference. Like, I understand this is sparring. It's probably short rounds. But he didn't even come out of this like at the first. And in the contract, I think people talk about it. Hold on. Tyson, Paul. There's a script going around, but I have no idea if that's real. I don't think you'd have to script this. You just say, okay, like come out strong first couple rounds, then go, then start backing off, and then we're going to go all 8 rounds. Like, the script doesn't make any sense, but he did make more money the longer the fight went.
And stuff after had to do a little bit of research and stuff after this Mike Tyson fight, and my big bro, he hit me up just let me know due to the contract, Mike Tyson was not allowed to use any type of uppercuts, which made a lot of sense. Well, I know quite a few of us were looking at him like, why is he not moving like he was during training? He didn't hit the signature Mike Tyson, hit him in the side, open him up, then uppercut, knock his ass out. He wasn't doing none of that because it's in the contract. He was not allowed. Also, it had to go the distance. Anything that was 3 rounds or lower, Mike Tyson would get a fraction of the money. So in order for him to get close to the 20 mil or the whole 20 mil, it needed to last at least 7 rounds. It had to go at least 6 rounds. The 7 round to 8 round, that's when you get to 20 mil, which makes a lot of sense. So I know a lot of us like, man, that was a gimmick, which it was. I mean, I think we all came to that conclusion.
Carl Froch has exposed a clause in Mike Tyson's contract versus Jake Paul. The former British boxer claims there is a clause in Iron Mike's contract that says he can't knock out Jake Paul. I
think he was going to be penalized for a knockout.
Heard this news during the build-up to the fight and said, allegedly, there's a clause in there that says Tyson can't go for it. He went on to say he doesn't think it should even be a professional boxing match in the first place. He fought way too long and was well past his best. I'll just be happy if he gets out the ring without getting chinned. So there's been much speculation about the legitimacy of the fight. So if there was a knockout clause in the contract, I don't think many would be surprised. No one expected.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
This is the script
The 4th fight.
that was supposedly leaked. It says like round 1, round 2.
Contract states that Mike Tyson cannot KO Jake Paul. Let's talk about it. This is for tonight's fight, or early tomorrow morning's fight if you're in the UK like me. There are a lot of rumours floating about that there is a contract line that says Mike Tyson must not KO Jake Paul. Now this comes off of the back of Carl Froch claiming that is in the contract. How he would have seen the contract, I do not know. We all know that Carl Froch does indeed waffle.
because the uppercuts is how Mike Tyson won or got most of his knockouts.
But this isn't the first time that Jake Paul...
I don't think that's what it is. I think there's if the fight ends early because of a knockout, he's losing money, but I don't think it says no uppercuts or no KOs.
Paul's been hit by these claims. It was claimed after the Anderson Silva fight that Anderson Silva had a line that stated he must not KO Jake Paul, which to be honest would explain why Anderson Silva didn't turn on the gas, even though he was making Jake Paul miss and embarrassing him a little bit in that fight. There was also the same thing in the Tommy Fury contract, allegedly, where Tommy Fury wasn't allowed to KO Jake Paul, which is why he didn't really sit down on his shots. And I forgot to do an image for it, but also the Tyron Woodley fight, especially that first.
The fights he was throwing looked sluggish, it looked slow, which they were wearing heavier gloves, but there was so many missed opportunities that you think Mike Tyson, even out of just habit, would have took.
Well, there was also claims that Jake Paul wasn't allowed to be KO'd by Tyron Woodley. But I can see why these rumours have started flying about for this fight, especially given that Mike Tyson is known for his disruptive KO power, and more particularly for all of his early knockouts early on in his career. Now, do I think this is true? I think this is absolute nonsense. As I say, there is no way that Carl Froch has seen the contract, and Carl Froch does chat some absolute crap quite often.
The Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight contract just got leaked, and it's looking like more of a rig job than ever before. It was bad enough that the rules extremely favored Jake, but now the contract is going to incentivize Mike to lose and give Jake almost an opportunity to choose
not to. So it didn't directly incentivize him to lose. Mike Tyson is known for winning early and being gassed the longer the fight goes, even when he was young and in the best shape of his life. So if it's incentivizing him to make more money the longer the fight goes, then his chances of winning go down substantially, right? It should have been a purse. The winner takes the purse, and that's it.
Choose himself as a winner. Apparently, the first stipulation in the contract makes it so that Tyson won't even want to knock Jake Paul out because he's being paid on a sliding scale per round. That means if he were to knock Jake out in the first round, he wouldn't even be paid.
And Jake's the promoter. He's the one who set up this contract and shit.
And if you were to knock him out in the second, it would be just a tiny bit. So for Tyson to make the absolute most amount of money in this fight, he needs to go the distance, which to a lesser fighter would mean avoid being knocked out, but for him means not knocking Jake out. And here's where it gets even worse. If this goes to a decision, it massively favors Jake because I
never thought that Jake would be able to knock Mike Tyson out. And if Mike Tyson's hands were tied to where he was disincentivized from knocking Jake Paul out, he damn sure wasn't going to play along and let Jake knock him out.
Judges have to be approved by Jake. Now, obviously, they wouldn't want to use language where they say he can choose the judges, but if they need to be approved by Jake, that means he's going to be able to talk to them and make sure they're behaving accordingly. So,
all the judges had to be approved by Jake. All the fight judges.
Contract, and basically Tyson has two options.
Which it wasn't even close. I don't think the judges were rigged. It wasn't even fucking close.
Take a massive pay cut in this fight, or two, wait until the end of the fight and have it go to the judges, which are chosen by Jake. We don't know the exact dollar amounts, but we can only hope that Tyson is setting Jake up, doesn't want the money, and is going to end this one quickly. The Jake Paul-Mike Tyson...
This is how much money Mike Tyson took.
Tyson fight. It was bad enough that the rules extremely favor Jake, but now the contract is going to incentivize Mike to lose and give Jake an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he's getting paid on a sliding scale per round. This means that if you were to knock Jake out in the first round, Tyson would be given no money at all. And if you were to knock...
And it's so hard for like a big power puncher who's obviously not a small, nimble guy with a ton of stamina to like go 7 rounds, then knock somebody out, right? He was he's old, and he's never been good at long fights, like Mike Tyson hasn't. So if he wanted to get the full purse, he's got to go at least 7 rounds, so the full amount of money, he's got to go at least 7 rounds. Then by then, he's fucking gassed.
Out in the second, he would only make a small amount of cash. So for Tyson to make the absolute most amount of money, he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which to a lesser fighter would mean avoid being knocked out, but for him means not knocking Jake out. And here's where it gets even worse. If this goes to a split decision, it massively favors Jake because the judges have to be...
This might be AI Rogan, by the way.
Jake Paul admitted...
Literally 10 minutes of nothing.
It was bad enough that the rules...
Yeah, this is AI.
Jake, but
they even showed him, and it wasn't him. It wasn't the words he was saying.
Incentivize Mike.
I think he was pulling his punches all night.
The ball has hit him too, so they both are trading punches now.
They even say he says something to him right here. It says Mike Tyson really almost knocked Jake Paul out in the first round, so he had to take it down a notch. This is the first round. Lighting that shit up. Then everything changed after the second round. It just went way down here. The women's fight was really good. I think a lot of people think that they picked the wrong winner, but it was a good fight.
Mike Tyson taking a Paul.
72. Sign the contract. You can run, but you can't
Show the contract.
Yeah, if they want to stop they never will, but if they want to stop the rumors, they could just show the contract. Tyson not throwing any punches because he is scared, scared that he might accidentally knock out Jake Paul and break the rules of his contract. Just watch this. Like, he's not even, he only threw like 90-some punches. And I would say most of those came in the first 2 rounds. Probably 50 of those came in the first 2 rounds. There were rounds where he threw like 1 or 2 punches. Everyone won't find out. All of his fights have been fixed and nobody's found out yet. I don't know. I think Mike Tyson has the power, but here we sit. Let's check on Scott Rogers. His biological mother died the other day, and he was taking a break from TikTok. So let's see how that works out. 11/30 for you military tops.
Park across the street from my house.
Is he still on his break? How old are these videos? 5 hours ago. So no, he's not on his break. Where's the one where he's in the car then? He took a break. He's like, I'm going to go off TikTok for a while, and he took a break for like 3 minutes.
What's up, TikTok? What's up, everyone? I'm going to be
5 days ago
from TikTok for a while. I don't know how long. My biological mother, I'm in Mississippi right now. I'm keys up in my pocket. Sitting at the center my mom used to go to.
Keys are in my pocket. What the fuck does that mean?
At 11:30 in military time, 11:30 hours.
I know this is the video to laugh at, but he's like 11:30 hours in military time.
Keys up in my pocket. Sitting at the center my mom used to go to. At 11:30 in military time, 11:30 hours.
11:30 hours in military time.
She passed away today.
The more upset he gets, the more he looks like a silverback.
So, keep me and my family in y'all's prayers, please.
Someone says, I was in the military and I always loved 11:30 hours. My favorite time of the day. All right, so that was 5 days ago. This is a video from the same day, even though he took a break. Video from the same day. He plays taps for her.
Okay.
Video from the same day. Same day. No, this is the next day. Start of the next day. Biological mother. She was like, there was legit something. She lived like in a home or something. Like, I've seen her on his TikToks before. She was like a crackhead.
Good morning, TikTok.
1 day later.
This is the only video
first thing in the morning.
I'm going to do today.
So he was taking a break, but he made 6 videos.
Just woke up and break starts.
Yeah, she really died.
When this video posts.
5 days ago.
So.
Wake starts when this video posts at 11:30 hours.
I'm just going to.
I'm laughing too. We're all going to hell.
That's all.
And Trump's bringing it right to our front door. Same day.
And beside you.
I'm back early from break with this. John Michael Scott Gumry. Oof. Let him sing it to you, ladies. Same day. Same day. Same day. No Blake. Same day. Blake is broken.
Then, black.
That's purple. Same day.
Guys. Boom, 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 boom.
That's what he needs is a sandwich maker filter.
Oh, okay. All right. Trick is the top of the shoe right here.
Yeah, you can see it.
And right here.
How they mix it up, you can see it, Scott.
Boy, so that's what you have to look for if you lose.
The trick is it's for kids.
Lose it. All right.
What the fuck is he chewing? There's nothing in his mouth. Why is it crunching?
Like that.
Is that his fucked up teeth grinding together?
Like that. Like that. You have to have a closed.
His nose whistles constantly.
All right.
You can see it, Scott. This isn't a very good game.
Again, I just came across this. It's not my.
It's for children, guys.
I've tried this a few times.
He's still chewing something.
Got it the first try. That's pretty cool. You have to time it just right.
So there was no break. Someone said if you watch this on 2x speed, it feels like it's timed up. This is Leanne Rhymes.
Get through a night without you. If I had to live without you, what kind of life would that be? Oh, I need you in my arms, need you to hold. You're my world, my heart, my soul. If you ever leave, well, baby, it would take away everything good.
There was a fly that flew by.
All right.
It wasn't having it.
2, 1, 4, 8, 6, 7, 5, 3.
3.
Give me the.
You lose.
Confetti. I'm going to pause and try.
This is Blake.
Let's see. I'm going to do this way, this way, this way, this way. All the way up there.
Oh, he should be good at this.
Let's see, do that one.
Bro, this is 3 patties over here. You're obviously going to have to do that one across that row. It's like a Sudoku with just one column. That one, then that one, then that one. Come on. Now this one. Now this one. Jesus. Oh. Gotta shave the hair. You win. He's never played this game in real life, dude. What a cheat code. You could play this in real life, you know. So this is what a break from yuck looks like. Good to know. Now please do it for your schnoz. Oh my God, that was godly. You're probably the the Shaolin monk, but they try to spell it with his accent.
I'm going
Shaolin monk.
Oh, gee.
He just plays filters all day now. Oh wait, this might be a skit or something.
Happy Friday, everyone. Y'all doing all right? I'm doing all right. Just doing a lot of thinking, you know? Different stuff.
Not China.
Anyways, y'all have a blessed night.
So Lucky Chucky, here you go. You said who's next?
Oh, Mr. On, Shirley. I have your back. Ain't no fake crap going on, you know? And I have your back. Your hand might be bigger than mine. But me and you are tough. Now I'm brave.
I'm brave.
See you, Mr. On.
And I'm taking a break.
Communal stage will do at this.
So Lucky Chucky.
Alright.
I'm brave.
Naruto, Dragon Ball, Naruto.
Done.
There is.
I'm tired of watching filters. We'll see if he did anything. Oh, this is.
Let's see.
What's your slang word?
Oh, Ohio. This. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is pretty good. Ohio. What did I do?
Use it in a sentence. What in the Jolly Ranchers, Ohio, are you doing here?
All right, plus 2. Plus 2. Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, even kids in first class of kindergarten would solve it. Bro, what do you mean kindergarten, bro? Bro, what? Whoever you're talking about, I don't think they will complete this game. Just look. Bro, it doesn't matter what I do. I just can't beat this crocodile, bro. Watch. Look, I'm using every single... I'm on 0. How did I go to 0?
Alright. Alright.
I was hoping that wouldn't be a filter. Apparently it is.
Alright, no.
And another one. And the same one again. And the same one again.
Alrighty then. Alright.
Just talk to us, Scott.
Oh.
No.
By the way, the reason you're seeing this black guy bunch, these are the people I'm telling you about that intentionally do these filters incorrectly and say it's impossible, or you have to be a genius, or a military sniper, or special force. They always say something retarded, so children try it. And Scott gets caught up in it. Like, obviously, this filter, like, somebody could beat this filter. Right? But this is a grown-ass man saying, I'm trying my best, it's impossible. Just so other people would be like, this is how you do it. It's so easy. I bet you I could do it. But it's like, it's a childlike mentality.
Not possible, huh?
Use strategy. You are using strategy, and you just cannot fit all of these cows into this pen. I'm telling you, just look. It does not matter what you do. Any move you make, you're always going to have one cow.
It's possible.
Bro, how do I get all of them into this pen?
Just like I did, dude.
I don't think it's possible that they all fit.
Why does it look like his head melted into his chest?
Not possible, huh?
Use strategy. You are using strategy, and you just cannot fit all of
What's that lip go?
into this pen. I'm telling you, just look. It does not matter what you do.
Looks like he's working one of those cow's udders with it.
My God.
The real reason I show Scott Rogers is Mariah gets all hot and bothered, and then there's no Scott Rogers at home, so she's forced to make her sweet, passionate Scott Rogers love to me.
Oh.
That's why there's SpongeBob and Animal Bait, like they're for children.
Alright.
Bright colors. Oh, a skit? Oh, this is an old one.
So how may I help you?
He works at the Goodyear Bank.
What's your account number? Alright. Okay, I got your account pulled up.
Mariah likes to think she's as dirty as his body butter across his light switch. She wants to be used and sludged, if you know what I mean.
What are you looking for? Ma'am.
She wants to have poop finger streaks across her body. She's into that shit, I'm telling you.
Let me put you on hold.
Is that a tick?
Yes, this is Jeremiah with customer service. Miss Thomas Whalen.
And then not only do they solve those random math problems on Facebook, they forget about orders of operations. When you tell them they're wrong, you're like, yeah, if you use Common Core math, they all think it's all Common Core.
All right. I got
not how I done it when I was in school.
To do Jamie Whalen, I meant. Was she at your store? All right, and
I can't do no more Scott. Can't do no more Scott Waddles. Sorry about your mom passing. You're still kind of a piece of shit. I don't think that changes anything, but whatever. Whatever.
Women voting is not freedom, bro.
Funny and outrageous online.
Hey, quiet. Segregation's not oppression.
Oh, wow. Well, y'all are definitely ignorant. Definitely. Really.
All right.
Badly.
I say we bring back normalizing the word We need to shame again. We need to put them back in the closet. I miss those days when people would...
That's the F slur for homosexual people. She's just throwing out.
And tell anyone that they're gay because it was not celebrated. Now it's like people are becoming gay because they want to be celebrated. They're weird. They're outcasts. They just want to feel like they can fit in and have a bunch of people support them for nothing. Like if you're ugly in 2024, just become a and then boom, you're popular magically. It's become a trend. Let's make it a trend to shame them again. Who's with me?
So here's what I'm wondering. Your daughter's gonna grow up. We'll also show in the intro the clip of also joking, I'm sure, of your daughter being ready for the guy when she's...
I don't think you got that much thread, Mariah.
18. You know that one?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Of course. You really, this is going to be out there. You really want your daughter seeing this?
Yes.
Just spewing hatred all over.
It's not spewing hatred. It's not. I mean,
what is your fixation? Just, okay, other people can live their life. I thought that was what conservatives liked before.
Here's the thing, bro. Nobody was fixated on it until it got shoved down our throat. There's not a TV show we can watch without a homosexual. Like there's gays. Name a show.
Name a show.
Like a new show that's come out and there's... I
don't watch any new shows.
Exactly. So you don't even know. Dude, there are so many gays.
Okay.
But like, bro, if you're a Christian and you know that that's wrong and you see them just normalizing this lifestyle, obviously, it's science 101, right? Like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Like there's going to be a reaction to the action of just shoving this down our throats.
Hello, it's everywhere. We get the gay flag everywhere. You see it in Target for the kids. And yes, what I said in that video is precisely true. Like if you're like weird and ugly and you're like, oh, I'm transgender now. All of a sudden you have this whole community praising you for just
like when
being
it was
unique.
the most looked down upon, there were still lots and lots of gay people. Clearly, it's not just a societal trend.
It is trending upwards.
We see it in nature.
Oh my God, like penguins being gay or whatever.
I'm just saying, clearly, even when it was the worst thing you could do societally, still people were gay. So it's not like people are just doing it because...
Worst thing you could do societally? What about like killing people?
Well, they would get killed for it, yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean,
still in countries where you get killed for it, there are still gay people.
Right.
Which, of course, it debunks the idea that this is some media-driven...
like a fad, right?
Phenomenon.
Just because it happens in nature doesn't mean it's correct. We come from a Christian point of view.
And you can have your views. My point is, though, our argument is that everyone can have their views and live their life. And then
is that what you guys think? Because I'm pretty sure cancel culture comes from the left. Like the reason why I'm so like flagrant about this stuff and like aggressive about it online is because people are constantly like, you can't say that, cancel. Like I remember I started off on TikTok and I always say the crazy rabid feminist on TikTok created the anti-feminist monster that I am today. Because if I just said one thing, oh, women should be in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, this internalized misogyny. They're freaking out. They're literally. Did you see the feminists after Trump just won? They're literally screaming.
But there it is again. So much of your ideology, and I agree. If someone were stepping over and saying you have to live your life this way, you can't stay home if you want to. That would be strange. I would be against that. But your argument so often necessitates saying what other people should be doing, which we're not saying. We can say, or we do believe that you can live the life however you want.
Other people should be doing it, yes, because there's good and there's evil. We know what good is, we know what evil is, and therefore people should be living good lifestyles. They should be living virtuous, moral lifestyles. And we as a society, we can pressure the other people within our society to be walking.
Yeah, go become an Angel Studios backer.
With good morals, with good virtues.
And you won't see any homosexuals. You probably won't see Tim Ballet repping any people. Yeah, you'll be good.
That's, I guess, what I find crazy is that you think this sort of content is pushing people in that direction.
Like pushing people to live more.
You think
it's emboldening
playing into
people.
the caricature that the only reason you have the views you have is because you're obsessed with like this hate-filled fixation with other people's lifestyles? That's what you play into.
I just want to clarify, this isn't hateful.
I don't think most of these people even believe this shit, right? But it gets views, it gets clicks, it gets everything.
I'm not like fuming behind my phone like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that there's gay people in this world. I think it's funny. It's very lighthearted. And I personally don't care about moving people to what I think. Like, I'm a woman online. I think many women, especially in conservative politics, I call them the conservative feminists. They think that they're going to go make the change and, oh my gosh, I'm so great and I'm going to be the next president one day, which I've literally heard a certain conservative feminists say. I don't take myself seriously.
Well, then why are you justifying the rhetoric by saying we could create a society that pressures people into your framework? When I'm saying you could have the views that you have and people could choose to associate or not associate with you because of them, but to go out and purposefully do what a lot of other people, if you're saying you don't believe it, most people perceive what we're going through in this.
Are they worried about their kids seeing it? Maybe one day, but right now they're making fucking thousands of dollars a month and they're paying for their kid, right? They don't have to go to work. They get to be influencers. They got support.
In the show as hateful rhetoric, and their justification is because it could impact people, which is crazy because it's only going to push people further away. I've heard people who are Christians who have pretty traditional Christian views, but come.
So there's pretty substantial evidence that the Bible never even talks about homosexuality. Even in Sodom and Gomorrah, what they were talking about is rape. I think Dan McClellan does a good job on it. That first of all, there were people that were laying with angels as part of the story, right? So this interspecies thing was condemned. And then the other thing was that certain cities, when visitors would come and they didn't like the visitors, the men would take turns gang raping them. So they try to put the one about angels, like having sex with angels, they try to make that wrap around homosexuality. And then they're talking about like like using rape to assert dominance over other men is condemned. But I don't even think they ever mention homosexuality ever in the Bible, at least according to most scholars.
Compassion and empathy.
And way more mature.
Their views.
Hold on, we'll go see what Dan McClellan says about it. I can't remember the entire thing. I'm not a Bible scholar, so.
Ever say anything about homosexuality? Does Jesus in any of the four Gospels ever say anything about homosexuality?
No. And there are people who point to Matthew 19 and say, well, Jesus quoted Genesis 2:24, and Jesus said that, what God has put together, let no man divide asunder. And so Jesus is, defining marriage as between one man and one woman. And so that is against homosexuality. And that is a very creative, but very nonsensical overinterpretation of what Jesus is saying, because Jesus is just talking about divorce and is quoting Genesis 2:24.
To believe that the God of the Bible does not condemn homosexuality.
Yes, thank you, Dan.
I want to see the original video.
If you believe that the God of the Bible does not support enslaving other human beings, then you have all the tools, resources, and experiences that you need to believe that the God of the Bible does not condemn homosexuality. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. And there are 5 passages across the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament that condemn different kinds of same-sex intercourse in different ways and for different reasons. But the Bible invests far more real estate to talking about the ways that God would prefer you enslave other people. And then well over 1,000 years later, society decided to change and to reject that practice as evil. And it was right to do so. But it meant that a lot of people had to turn around and look back at the Bible, and along with the support enslaving other human beings, then you have all to believe.
I know it's here somewhere. Hold on.
Does not. There's no such thing as a biblical concept of sexuality or marriage. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. And the main reason there's no such thing as a biblical concept of either of those things is because the Bible is not univocal. It does not speak from a single unified and consistent perspective or with a single unified and consistent. Absolutely none of the Bible was written for us today.
This is interesting, but it's all post-apocalyptic here in the Romans.
Danielle. I make educational TikTok videos on a wide variety of topics.
Hey Hey everybody, this is one final reminder of my upcoming online class on homosexuality and the Bible, which will take place this coming Thursday, January 19th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'll do about a 1-hour presentation. Hey everybody, after my video yesterday on Genesis 19, I predictably had a number of people retorting, yeah, but what about Leviticus 18 and 20? I have 3 concerns with that retort. The first is that my video pretty clearly and explicitly argued that Genesis 19 is not a condemnation of same-sex intercourse. It was not an argument that there is no part of the Bible that condemns any type of same-sex intercourse. My second concern is that these were overwhelmingly conservative Christians, which means this passage doesn't apply to them in any way, shape, or form, and so their leveraging of it as a rhetorical weapon against the LGBTQ plus community is arbitrary and capricious. Now, some Christians are going to respond, well, that's a moral law, and so that's still in force. But that doesn't work because the division of the laws of the Hebrew Bible into moral and ceremonial, or moral and ceremonial and civil, is post-biblical. There is no such categorization anywhere in the Hebrew Bible. It was a categorization that Christians invented starting in the 3rd century CE in order to legitimize them holding on to the legislation they wanted to hold on to and abandoning the legislation they wanted to abandon. So that's not a legitimate framework. Now, other Christians are going to respond, well, this is all about the created order, and so that's still the same, and so that is still in force. Again,
oh shit! Nah,
hey everybody,
I'm a fucking idiot.
Video yesterday on Genesis. In Leviticus 18, we have a bunch of sexual acts that are prohibited, and these that they find useful and abandon the legislation that they don't. So, if you're a Christian force, again, that's a non-biblical conceptual framework that is being imposed upon the text arbitrarily so that Christians can rationalize why they should be able to assert the legislation that they find useful and abandon the legislation that they don't. So if you're a Christian, this doesn't apply to you. If you don't live inside the land of Israel, this doesn't apply to you. And that brings up the third concern. What is actually going on in Leviticus 18 and 20? In Leviticus 18, we have a bunch of sexual acts that are prohibited, and these sexual acts are all about inappropriate relationships that are thought to generate a kind of metaphysical contamination or pollution that pollutes the land. And so it has to be purged, or the creation of that contamination has to be avoided. In Leviticus 18, we have the prohibition on the one who is in the driver's seat regarding these sexual acts. And this is an important caveat. Sexuality in the ancient world was not about consensual mutual relationships shared between two people. It was about one person doing something to another person, specifically someone higher up on a socially
King James was gay.
Conventionalized hierarchy of domination and penetration.
He had several public boyfriends.
Doing something to someone lower down.
Well, he was bisexual. So this is about power structure, right? So someone in the upper ranks or with power taking advantage of someone without power.
Be purged, or the creation of that contamination has to be avoided. In Leviticus 18, we have the prohibition on the one who is in the driver's seat regarding these sexual acts. And this is an important caveat. Sexuality in the ancient world was not about consensual mutual relationships shared between two people. It was about one person doing something to another person, specifically someone higher up on a socially conventionalized hierarchy of domination and penetration, doing something to someone lower down on that hierarchy, whose agency didn't really matter. Only the agency of the person higher up on the hierarchy mattered. And so in Leviticus 18, those prohibitions are being imposed upon the person who is higher up in the hierarchy, which is why almost entirely it is men who are being addressed. There's only one sexual act in which a woman is prohibited from engaging in an act with someone lower down on the hierarchy, and that is where the other agent is an animal, because that's the only kind of sexual relationship where a woman is actually higher up on that social hierarchy of domination and penetration. Now, Leviticus 20 is a little different. All the laws in Leviticus 20 are actually expanding on what's going on in Leviticus 18, probably a later editorial expansion, where they are saying that both parties must die. And there's an argument to make that this is a textual change. A lot of these passages begin in the singular and then rather awkwardly shift to the plural in a way that the Hebrew really doesn't like to do. But what Leviticus 20 is doing is suggesting that the only way to purge this contaminant, this pollutant from the land, so that the land does not vomit you out, is by killing both partners in the sexual act, whether both partners are human or both partners are not. And so the agency of the partner who is taking the receptive role, who is lower down on the hierarchy, isn't even a consideration. They still must die, however, because they were a party to that inappropriate sexual act. And so why is it wrong for two men to engage in same-sex intercourse according to these passages? Well, it's because two freeborn male citizens are supposed to be on the same level of that hierarchy, and to subordinate one is inappropriate. And we have a number of other indications that
so it's like a power dynamic, right? You don't make someone your subordinate.
Concern for maintaining the integrity of that hierarchy are paramount. For instance, in Mesopotamia, we have references to a man subordinating another man sexually, robbing that other man of his masculinity, his vitality, his power. We have references to men who are on the bottom during sex with their own wives, otherwise totally appropriate sexual relationships, being robbed of their vitality, of their masculinity, of their power for up to a month, according to some Mesopotamian omens, because to be on the bottom is to take a submissive role. So in that hierarchy, it is inappropriate for the man to take a submissive role. And we have a similar concern expressed in a Talmudic text in early Judaism, where it says that if a man is on the bottom during sex with his wife, he will be stricken with diarrhea. And this is also, interestingly enough, the impetus for Lilith's abandonment of the Garden of Eden in the Alphabet of Ben Sirah from the 7th to 10th centuries CE. This is where we get this idea that Adam's first wife was Lilith, and she gets upset and storms out of the Garden of Eden because she says, I want to be on top. And Adam says, you're not fit to be on top. Only I am fit to be on top. From the second millennium BCE all the way through to the end of the first millennium CE, across ancient Southwest Asia, we have this idea that sexual acts must honor this social hierarchy of domination and penetration. So in addition to the fact that it has no relevance to Christians today, the undergirding moral concern has no relevance to us today, because we don't accept, or at least we shouldn't accept, this notion that there is a socially conventionalized hierarchy of domination, and sexual positions and sexual partners have to honor that hierarchy. Otherwise, we are creating a metaphysical contaminant that pollutes the land, and there is the threat that we might be vomited out of the land. Nobody accepts that anymore. The only reason these passages are still deployed as weapons against the LGBTQ plus community is because that is an identity marker that is useful for boundary maintenance, that is useful for structuring power and values, that is useful for right-wing authoritarian identity politics. And you just need to get over that. Hey everybody, after my video yesterday on Genesis 19.
I dare you to strike me with diarrhea, Mariah. It'll never work.
And it's respectful.
And it actually could move people.
Yeah.
I agree.
Whereas I'm not debunking your point, but you're basically saying, hey, stop being so violent and hateful.
I'm asking why you're doing it.
Right. Yeah. And it's because you, or not you, but let's just say leftists, they don't like this, and they want to put us in the closet. And they want to say, you go in the closet,
No.
you be shamed, you don't get on social media and say, that is the F slur, you don't say these words, you don't act this way, you go back in the closet for being a hateful bigot.
And you'll get fired from your job. We'll dig up your old tweets, and we will do everything to take down your entire livelihood.
Okay.
So, Isabella Riley, this individual, is an ambassador to Turning Point USA.
No, she's not.
No, I'm
Has
not.
apparently been seen at Kerry Lake fundraisers, taking photos with top staffers or whatever. This is an influencer who's been allowed into organizations. And to be very clear, while I think that tweet by itself is pretty bad, it's not the only time they've drawn people's attention. Take a look at this montage.
If you have stage 4 cancer, there's a reason why no man wants you, because he wants to pull your hair.
I feel like to young women,
Damn,
ironically, they
that's a
need to find a
brutal
man that's
I have a lot to say on that one.
very misogynistic.
I think Malcolm X is based. I'm Malcolm X.
Cool guy, yeah.
I would say he's based if he wasn't black.
Hey, speaking of getting a job.
It's a joke.
10 out of 10 racist right here. My husband's texting me, and he said that he wanted me to tell you that we will have our daughter ready for you as a virgin.
It's clearly a joke. I just want to make one point about the
That's why if she says she's literally talking about her child, and we'll have it ready for you as a virgin. She's talking about her own kid.
the cancer comment, which was a complete joke, and a lot of people got mad at me about this. It was in response to Dixie D'Amelio like shaving her head, and I just want to say I was vindicated because after this election, all the feminists now shave their head bald because they don't want men to find them attractive. So they actually proved my point.
And then what happened? Like the cancer patients came out and they were like offended.
Now women with alopecia and who have cancer are like, I'm not part of this movement. Like, you guys are crazy and entitled. I was making a joke that these crazy feminists just proved my point. Shout out to these rabid feminists.
Screaming about someone not being appealing when they have cancer is very different than your thoughts about a feminist thing.
It was
Dude, that's like 4 seconds of the entire video.
Mm-hmm. And I've watched your full videos. The context doesn't help.
Okay, first of all, that's like that video of her. That's from like 2.5 years ago.
Okay, all right, cool. So then
she's adapting a little bit, changing a little bit more.
I've definitely become more like empathetic towards people ever since having my daughter. But now it's been a year since she's been born, and I'm back to being a apparently.
But no, I would say you've adapted and you've learned and you've changed a lot and become way more empathetic and understanding. Totally,
just radically empathetic from what I can tell.
Yeah,
just
I also have dark humor though.
We're not saying that she's radically empathetic. We're saying that she's taking steps more towards empathy than before.
Not even taking steps, like it just came naturally.
Yeah. Well, then you agree that a lot of the stuff that you've gone most viral for is not a good representation of your views of Christianity.
Yeah, because I like to be like funny and outrageous online.
Hey, quiet.
Oh. Sorry, can't talk.
I wouldn't say that it's a bad view of Christianity.
What? Really? Show me when Jesus was talking
Did he just cut her off?
viral for is not a good representation of your views of Christianity.
Yeah, because I like to be like funny and outrageous online.
Hey, quiet.
Oh. Sorry, can't talk.
I wouldn't say that it's a bad view of Christianity.
What? Really? Show me when Jesus was talking about putting people back in the closet.
Why would Jesus put people? Were there even closets at the time?
Yeah.
There, oh yeah, and there was the saying of get back into the closet. Like this is the thing, bro. You're like autistically analyzing this. Like, what did Jesus say? In
Matthew, talk about the verse about shame.
In Matthew 14, Jesus says, "Hey, homo, get back in the closet." Never happened.
No, I'm saying look at the principle. Have you actually read the Bible?
Yes.
Like 7 times.
Okay, so you know that every Jesus-related story was not him convincing people to follow God by spitting on them or hating them. It was actually him going to those who were the outcasts.
So you don't know why it's called the missionary position. Someone says they don't call it the missionary position for no reason. You know it's called the missionary position because early missionaries suggested it to indigenous people as the proper way to have sex in the eyes of their God.
So wrong. It was him going to the outcasts at the time and showing the ability to love people through even lifestyles that Christianity would say are wrong.
In Polynesia.
No, you're wrong, because what does Jesus say in the Bible? He says, go and let the dead bury the dead. This man wanted to follow Jesus, and he said, I have to go give a funeral to my father. He just died, and he said, no, let the dead bury the dead. Come and follow me. He told that.
Doesn't review what I'm saying. I'm saying don't ignore all the stories of Jesus being
all love and this was everything.
Woke for the time.
Wait, what?
Jesus was the biggest wokester of the time.
No, he was loving. He was a servant.
Where's that publicly? Why can't I see y'all talking about the importance of loving? Do you actually believe this election would be so much better if women couldn't vote?
I think every election.
Where's that joke?
No, women should not be voting.
even women in the 1920s largely didn't want.
When you look at the women's suffrage movement and what they did, there were two sides. Women were advocating for women not to get into politics. But see, people.
I'm sure some women were.
No, not some. There were a lot.
Like her.
No, there were a lot of people.
Okay, I'm not that old. Okay, people like to talk about my age online. I'm not that old. Gosh, what a misogynistic thing to say.
Hey,
Ageist.
take it back.
I'm sorry.
The use of the day.
Okay.
The use of the day, I'm saying.
But there were literally women who did not want women to get into politics.
I'm sure. There are a lot of really.
But do you explore and do you read about them?
They were fucking anything that holds still long enough.
Do you read about why? Would you guess as to why?
They probably had similar VCL.
But guess why they didn't want.
And they're like, whoa, slow down, let us watch.
I don't know, the self-hating, something like that.
Self-hating.
Yeah.
No, it's because they love their families. They love having children.
Please.
They want to
there
focus.
it is again. Then be with your family. That's your choice. But why do you insist on making other people's choices for them?
Do you know that there's a mass
freedom, baby?
Do you know that women voting is not freedom, bro?
But by saying women shouldn't vote, and I know this is what you believe, and I don't know if I would ever change your view on
women shouldn't vote.
This, but it's like the biggest, most simple way to put men and women on such a different.
Exactly.
Value. You're valuing them wildly different.
And it's still equality.
In reality, of course, women who are part of society, who are equal citizens, who are equal people, should be having a say in their democracy.
Democracy is cringe.
It's mob rule. The majority of people in this country used to think slavery. The majority of people in this country used to think slavery.
Trump got the popular vote. It's true. Trump is the democracy king at the moment, so that's great. But at the end of the day, like, if there were a room full of people that thought like me and Isabella, you would hate democracy too, wouldn't you?
There have been majorities, and we worked through our democracy
Yes or no?
to convince people, no, I want to hate democracy.
Really?
That's how things were before, and then we used our democracy to make the country better.
So just because you, like, if I fucking hate Trump, right, but I don't hate democracy because I hate Trump. But their argument is like, well, you don't like me, so if everybody was like me, you'd hate democracy, wouldn't you? No, because that's what gives us the out, right?
What's better?
My punching metrics are better off now than probably when y'all loved it. 1800, I don't know, 1700. When y'all like it?
1950s.
1950s. Oh, the time to be alive.
Yeah.
Come on.
Seriously.
Including like the oppression of black people and stuff.
Oh, segregation's not oppression.
Oh, wow.
Malcolm X, the reason why I wore the Malcolm X t-shirt is because Malcolm X wanted blach communities.
I know.
Black government, black politics.
Who stance?
That's what he wanted.
And I agree with more, not Malcolm X's.
MLK?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Martin
or
Luther
a
King.
bunch of the civil rights advocates of the day who understood segregation, the whole separate but equal fallacy is just that, a fallacy. That's just a way to allow for less resources, less rights to go to certain communities. You first have to isolate them and then you oppress them.
But that's like very anti-democracy of you. If black people came together and they had decided that they wanted black communities.
Well, I think she's more popular than him, which often happens with like female influencers, especially if they're saying something outrageous. And she was invited on the show and they talked and she looked like a retard. So the second time she brought him, even though he's an influencer too, he's not as big as her.
Communities, they had decided that that's what they wanted.
They didn't though.
No, whites got together.
Her name is Isabella Moody, I think. I don't know what his name is.
And
who are they unifying with?
Together.
There we go.
Huh?
Is it Josiah? What's his name?
Exactly, Americans. And if you have black people who choose to associate with one another, and for example, their whole friend group is black, that's very different than, as you mentioned.
Jeremiah? Josiah. I knew it was something semi-Amish.
Yeah,
I agree.
Lawful segregation.
I think lawful segregation.
Or even advocating segregation.
They do choose to segregate.
Right.
This is something that they choose to do.
As time has gone on, people have been less and less segregated.
There's like segregated months, gay pride month,
This is the thing.
month.
That's not
people tend to get with people who...
Yes.
Wait, what did you just
No, I'm just saying, like, I disagree with governments like
Pride month,
segregation.
you don't understand even the thing that you're so upset about. Pride is saying that you're straight, more traditional. I don't even like saying that because I feel like that's disrespectful to traditional Christians, but your version of traditional conservatism and Christianity, that is yours to live, and then other people's lives are ours to live, and that's the beauty of freedom.
So where's our white pride month? Where's our Christian pride month? I don't even want it. I don't even care. But like, you only see as the supposed oppressed groups.
Right. So those start because people are saying for too long we've been pushed down. So we're going to do a month to say that we are proud of who we are. No longer are we going to be shameful.
It's so gay.
It is literally gay.
Literally.
Pride month,
But every month that is like that is also gay. Like not even just gay pride month. Like also African American.
What does that mean to you?
Just like I'm just like cringe. Like
Gay equals cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're having sex and you can't reproduce. Like, the best part about having sex is reproduction. Seriously. Like, I don't value sex.
The best part of having sex is reproduction?
It's because of an orgasm. I value sex because I know that I am going to reproduce and have another baby.
Maybe the orgasm is good enough. Kidding. Sorry.
I only value sex because I know I'm going to have a baby.
Oh, pain. I mean, like, seriously, though, like, the best part of it's why as soon as we got together, like, she's off birth control. As soon as
we got married, yeah.
As soon as we're together, it's like no birth control, nothing, because I'm not going to have gay sex. And, like, gay sex is more than just, like, another man and a man. It's just, like...
Gay sex is having sex Gay sex can be sex with your wife if she's on birth control.
The idea of looking at sex as such a materialistic thing and just like, oh, well, like, we just have an orgasm and that's fun or whatever. No, like, dude, sex is about having children. It's about having babies. Like, you pump yourself full of birth control and then you have sex with your wife and, like, there's no purpose there except just pleasure. That's the only purpose.
Should
pleasure.
people who are born, like, infertile have sex?
It depends. Listen, I am pro, like, people.
So if you're infertile, right, they tell you can never have a baby. You can't have sex because that's gay sex.
Committing to celibacy for the rest of their life. I am pro, like, that. And if that was something that they couldn't have babies.
You can tell he's very good in bed, by the way. He can't even grow in a beard.
I believe that they should have that choice there.
Well, they have a choice.
Yeah.
I'm saying what you believe is correct. Infertile people, no sex for you.
I think that it's crazy. Infertile people don't think. I don't see anybody really saying that. Hey, I'm infertile, so I'm going to be celibate for the rest of my life. I'm not going to touch sex. I'm not going to have sex.
These crazy people don't say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that would be very honorable.
No gay sex with women, guys.
Very true. I agree. What I'm advocating for is for men to take responsibilities.
Stop having gay sex with women.
Protection and with provision. And she's advocating for women to submit and to serve their husbands. And we're both, that's what we agreed on. Like our vows, it was like
That's it, William. I'm getting off birth. I know where we buy our coat hangers from, huh? Threaten me with a good time.
Vowed to protect and support, protect and provide, and to love you. And she vowed to love me and support me always, and to serve me.
Yeah. But I'm not going to go saying we need to figure out how to prevent couples like this. Instead, I'll just say people have the freedom to live it the way they want to. And that's my point about this sort of one-way street.
Yeah, but it's kind of like lukewarm.
Yeah, you're just giving a softer delivery, but you're still letting the public know your stance, what you think is better.
I think equality is better for sure.
We take a more harsh.
Your view of equality is just it's.
What do you think equality is?
Listen, are men and women equal?
Yes.
In what way?
They're equal people, individuals, and they have the same individual rights.
Okay, so basically they're equal because the government says they're equal?
Because people for democracy have made the government say they're equal.
So the government basically...
Do we have gay sex this morning? I'm probably closer than most people because it was in the back door.
Basically gets to say that these people are equal because we give them rights.
Because people
our rights are from God, not from the government.
And then if you stop engaging with our government, you very quickly...
It wasn't men and women were created equal. It wasn't that like our God-given rights were like for equality for men and women. That wasn't the point. Equality implies the same.
The same rights, yeah.
Dude, look up what equality is. Or being equal.
Oh, the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities.
Look at all more definitions.
But
just click on it.
Look up other definitions. I don't like that one.
Maybe it further vindicates you.
A symbolic expression of the fact that two quantities are equal in equation. That's obviously not helpful. That's math.
You're big on welfare and things like that.
Programs that are effective to help people.
And you think that those are effective programs?
Like Social Security cutting senior poverty by gargantuous
sure,
margins.
But the government taking care of women who are pregnant.
Yeah.
You like that?
Oh, yeah.
Really? That's very peculiar to me.
Why?
So she's pregnant, like not right now, but she's pregnant, and now I'm married man. We're living God-fearing lives. Now I have to go pay the hospital $12,000. So now Brittany over here, Bethany, she decides that she just got knocked up by her boyfriend, and she doesn't like him, so she's going to separate from the family. It was premarital sex. There's no marriage. There's no stability. There's no guarantee that the father is going to be around or try his best to be around. And the government says, man, that sucks. That sucks that your boyfriend bailed on you. We're going to step in and we're going to pay for this. We're going to reward this.
What do you mean? What are they paying for?
It's because she's a single mother. Like the government.
I hear what you're saying. I think, Vice President Harris actually ran on a bunch of pro-family policies, like the enhanced child tax credit for people such as yourself.
I don't want tax credits, bro. If there's a woman who is literally getting like everything is getting taken care of by the government for having a baby, but it's through premarital sex
without a father.
Why is that not for Christian families?
Wait. That's what I'm saying. If you have a family for each of the children that you have as a couple, then you have to pay less taxes.
But that's not what is happening.
That's what Kamala wanted, but you voted against her. Shame on you.
I couldn't vote in 2020.
Kamala in 2024, this last election, just now.
Oh yeah, no, because she's a liar.
What are you saying? I'm saying let's support families.
No. And then when let's support families. Yes.
Okay.
He doesn't even know who was running for election.
Getting married.
Man, yeah, like a family.
Man and woman getting married and having babies. That's family. This is not family. This is not family. A woman has premarital sex, gets knocked up on a one-night stand, and then the government pays for it.
They don't pay for it.
They do.
They give support to people who are coming on hard times.
What does give support mean? Paying for it.
Pay for it.
What's the definition of giving support here?
Wait, you're acting like everything's covered and you're living this.
If you're a single mother, you get free baby care, like in the hospital delivery.
You get a lot of support because I believe, just like Jesus did, that we should help people who are in tough situations.
Right, but when the government
incentivizes when someone is a single mother,
Jesus was a refugee, just like the Haitians. Stop standing on Christianity. Jesus was a refugee, just like the fucking Haitians. He didn't eat nobody's dog. He was a refugee, and he was brown. So, right, it was so King Herod was killing all the fucking babies, with the prophecy that the King of Kings would be born, and they fled their land. He was a refugee until Herod died, until they returned home. Like, I don't understand.
Trying to raise children, those kids are going to be malnourished if we don't give them some support.
It's such bullshit. They're not going to be malnourished.
Have you met people?
Have you met
any
my
single
mother
mothers?
was a single mother.
Okay, so maybe she was like really successful or something.
No.
Then how did she support?
Yeah, she has boobs.
Support.
She has boobs, and she eats, and then you get breast milk right there.
So kids only live
malnourished.
Kids
what?
only wait. That was the most psychotic thing I've ever heard. What are you still saying?
That's the problem. He was on breast milk till he's 18.
I'm saying that.
Where's the video of me draining her breast milk? Get that one up.
He did.
Wait,
Jamie, pull that one up.
First of all, you have to. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. You have to be nourished as a mother to give good nourishment to your babies, and then the babies grow out of the sucking phase, and then you still have to feed them.
Eat food.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about.
Are we acting like people are not getting food?
A lot of people, a large percentage of the U.S. population is food insecure. Yeah, meaning they get some food, but not.
Yeah, even a lot of kids.
Enough to have a healthy, nutritious diet, because most of them are in poor environments.
Really, in America? I see a lot
America.
of fat people. I don't know.
In America.
Very interesting. I'm curious what these communities are.
I think the point that he's
all
trying.
sorts of communities.
I'm saying where they are. Like
it's worse in red states, because red states, by almost every metric, are
When I grew up, some of our best meals came from the school.
worse.
Really?
Like in
but at least they're gonna go to heaven.
What about the cities? What about the liberal cities? All the homelessness, LA. Like, come on.
Yeah, so red states have disproportionately worse violent crime, worse poverty, etc., worse infrastructure, worse education.
I would say the cities probably have.
No, this is.
You're just looking at
debatable,
states?
but-
Okay.
Well, because state governments structurally, systemically have a lot more to say.
I think the point that we're trying to make is that when the government incentivizes
Wait, y'all know
bad
there's like
behavior,
really poor rural red areas, right, where they're food insecure.
course.
Yeah.
Okay. So if a mother, if the husband, for example, runs off, let's say it's
like all of Appalachia.
It's a happy couple, and all of a sudden the husband runs off, and then this wife who was living the lifestyle you wanted her to live, so she's not trained on anything, she can't go get a job easily, she needs to raise the kids, is all of a sudden trying to figure out how to get a really low wage job because she's a single mother now, or her husband dies.
Okay.
she should join a church community and get help there.
Okay, or the community, like our governments, could step in and support. But we should also be supporting families where people are together, which is a big part of what Vice President Harris proposed, which I probably didn't even know, which is why I call people.
So they wouldn't bat an eye at if someone showed up and was like, hey, I'm a single mom, blah, 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 and went to the church and they passed an offering plate. Just think of America as the world's biggest church, and your taxes are passing the offering plate. Like, why not fucking help people? Like, these crazy people would be like, I can't believe we're sending my money over to what the fuckistan when we got people here struggling. But then when people here are struggling, they're like, wow, you're on welfare and food stamps and the government's raising your kids. Shouldn't we help those people?
People who vote for Trump so often misinformed.
So just a nice way of saying stupid.
No, not stupid. I think you could be really smart and then just not take the time to go inform yourself.
Yeah. From being ignorant or stupid.
Well, y'all are definitely ignorant. Definitely, really.
All right.
Badly. There's less of an issue with hunger in this country compared to other countries, right? You'd agree?
Yeah, and you're saying it's because of socialism programs.
Sure.
And I would agree with you.
And so I'm asking, when you talk about these different issues, I agree we could tweak and make changes to welfare to make it as ideal as possible. One of them is more universal programs. I'm asking what your prescription is then. Do you rip them away, the programs altogether, and then you're just like, I don't know, if you can't eat, you can't eat?
I see these posts all the time local. Like, I hate when people go shopping at the store and someone sees them and they use their EBT or whatever it's called, their food stamp card, and then people judge what's in their buggy. You bought soda or candy or fucking steak. I don't give a fuck. You get your money, you buy whatever the fuck you want.
No, it's not really about if you can't eat, you can't eat. It's about you removing and not incentivizing bad behavior and saying, hey, you are going to have a tough life because you decided that you were just going to have sex and you didn't really understand the responsibilities of it, and we're not going to come bail you out. You know what?
Maybe the children? Even if you feel that way, why are we punishing the children?
It's a survival instinct. What are they going to do? They're going to get in touch with their community. They're going to get in touch with their neighbors. Bro, we have no sense of community.
And that's why there's no starving in the countries I just referred to.
We have no sense of community. We have no sense of community.
I agree we should.
On your door?
Yeah, like I would never take anything from like what a kid needs. They're gonna have fucking soda and candy. I mean, responsibly. I don't think they should be only eating that stuff, but like, of course they want shit, right?
for Halloween.
I agree. We should. I live in an apartment, but
people just don't go outside. Like, they don't know their neighbors.
I agree.
You used to go and knock on your neighbor's door and say, "Hey, you have some brown sugar?"
I want more community. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But the answer's not always the government. It doesn't always have to be the government. It can be going to the community.
Solve the reason we didn't. The reason why we even created the programs that feed people like SNAP, the food stamps, is because before clearly we didn't solve the issue with community. So we're going to have programs to provide a basic standard of living for people, and then I agree we should work to strengthen communities.
See, the thing is, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how we were necessarily right before we got all these programs. I would like to see that and then come back to you, because I'm not. It's kind of. I should just take your word for it that things were so much worse before SNAP and welfare.
As we've solved poverty, not completely, but as we've minimized it, as we've implemented some of these programs, our country.
You can see like an increase in like child test scores. Like when we're feeding kids, they're not worried about whether the dropout rate. You can see the workforce is better. Like when we subsidize and feed people so they're not fucking starving to death. Obviously, childhood mortality rates
just keeps becoming more capitalistically dominant still, even with the socialism.
Really, because when there's a cap to how much money you can get from the government, you actually don't want to make more. So it actually incentivizes people to stay underneath this like tax bracket.
Cap? What cap?
That is a thing where you
get taxed more. Yeah, people are gonna find ways.
We're talking about welfare, really.
Taxes.
Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the. Why did you vote for Trump?
It was really tough, but I'm just trusting the people that I'm connected with. I feel like I could have some representation through connections that I have in the White House. Maybe we'll see. And so I'm trusting who he's putting in the cabinet. We're gonna see. It's better than Kamala. Like,
yeah.
I feel way more represented with the community that I've built with a Republican president than I ever would with a Democrat president.
Trump wasn't even strong enough on abortion that we would like. That's why we were kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't vote because women shouldn't vote, but.
I didn't vote because women shouldn't vote, but. But Joseph was warned beforehand in a dream of Herod's intentions to kill little Jesus, and the family flees to Egypt. It is not until Herod is dead that Joseph and Mary dare to return. Then they avoid Judea. Joseph was afraid to go there, Matthew 2:22, because Herod's son was now in charge. Instead, they find a new place of refuge in Nazareth of Galilee, far from Bethlehem, where they were from. Yeah, Jesus was a refugee. He was an immigrant and a refugee. Maybe they'd build a wall around Jesus, around Bethlehem, so Herod could kill Jesus. That'd be a short Bible. Especially that big ass star above his head. It'd be easy to find. Wild. All right, guys, I'm going to go test out my new jacket. I've been streaming for a few hours, probably. Yeah, an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to go try out my new jacket. It's heated. I'm going to ride the one wheel in tonight and see how it works out. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. The mods got it for me. So, thank you guys for joining us. Support the show. Cultbeard.fund. I'm going to try to be in here pretty often. I got to get Patreon started back hopefully this week. We do have the machine, but it gets dark so super early. I'm able to get in here. It's just I'm fucking tired after a long day of working all goddamn day at the campground and then try to come in here. It's a lot more work for a lot less pay. I'm not employed there. I'm just trying to get it going. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Never, ever, ever, ever vote for someone who is against free school lunches. I can't think of a more backwards ass fucking policy than Republicans shooting down free school lunches. Every kid should have free school lunches because there's parents that are too proud or don't understand or don't apply for it or don't give even probably more common, don't give a fuck about their kid, right? Those kids should have, just because they didn't apply, they don't meet this quality, those kids should have access to free lunches as well. That's the craziest stance to take ever. Give kids free lunches, feed every kid. That's the way our schools do it now, and that's the way it should have always been done. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow, maybe. Have a good night, guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 11:30 hours, 100 for you military tops. Everybody else, I'll see you when I see you. Have a good one.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are.
One of the mods told me that this jacket's actually been sitting in a warehouse for almost 6 months, but at Suko, like the merch, she just wouldn't release it. So I don't know. I'm glad I got it now. I've been freezing myself to death, riding in and out. Atsuko's had it locked up in a Ross dungeon.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a sixth sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believers? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking...
Brian Kilmeade said the other day, talking about Trump's nominations, saying, oh, I thought this wasn't going to be the clown car. He just hasn't realized that Trump is the clown car yet, I don't think. No one loves it, Suko. Stop lying. You saw the way she turned bull on us, huh? She goes down there and stays with him for what, 3 days? Next thing you know, he hates us all. I joined Blue Sky. Cold beer confess. Cold beer confess.
You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off.
BSKY.social. I don't know how to find anybody yet, but that's me.
Ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found.
I just joined today.
I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped.
Well, I think it's supposed to replace Twitter without supporting Elon Musk. So far, all they've shown me is a bunch of people reading books.
What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Give me a... Oh, my God.
Mariah, I'm coming home to have gay sex. See you in a minute.
Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3.
Gay sex, your butthole doesn't need the same. It's a marvelous muscle. You can poop multiple times a day. Same.
So well. It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first, ninth and second string, and they acting like they know.